Start. Boom. Guys, we're live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Drawn Talk. It's your boy, Tyler. And guys, today we are talking about indie comics and making comics. And specifically, we're talking about the topics of incorporating faith into comics. I have an awesome guest on. We're going to be hitting this. We're going to be hitting this up a bunch. But I just want to give you guys some updates real quick as I get situated on my desk. Here's some updates. We're still gonna have episode tomorrow, hopefully Friday, hopefully and Saturday, and then we're gonna be going a little. It's Christmas week next week, so I might not do very much, but I'm still gonna have some shows. And then that week will lead us to the 100th Draw and Talk episode, episode 100. So it'll be super exciting. And then after that, we're going to take like a week or two break just to give myself time I'm moving apartments. Me and my wife are moving. So guys, we're going to have a new setup, a new studio other than my kitchen. And it's going to be really exciting stuff. And I'm going to revamp season 3 of Draw and Talk is going to be different. The show's still going to be the same essence, but we're going to add in an extra special factor of the show, and I'm really excited to add this. I was just talking with my wife about it. I don't want to say what it is, but it's going to make the show I think a little more entertaining. And then hopefully as the show grows, we will add other guests on there, like photographers, painters, a bunch of other things. So yeah, guys. So today, on the show, we've got Andrew. Andrew has been on the show a bunch in the Creator Hangouts or whatever we throw out the link out. And Andrew has a comic called Melchizedek, King of Justice Origins. It's on Indie Planet. But Andrew, thanks for being on the show, dude.
Hey, it's really good to be here.
So, all right, Andrew, tell us about your comic, bro.
All right, so I basically do not like to talk too much about my comic, due to fear that I might give too much away. But it's basically like a superhero fantasy series, and it's about a young man who gets chosen by God to become like the living embodiment of his justice. So it's like pretty much he just does he's just been chosen to become a superhero in this world that is like filled with superhumans.
Awesome. And so you can find this book on Indie Planet. Let me show you guys real quick the screen. Hold on. You guys can go on Indie Planet. Let me share screen. Boom, right here. Awesome. All right, guys. So right here, go on Indie Planet, and it's XP Comics. And then we got right here. Actually, let me make this wider. So the page count, it's 100 pages. Okay, and you can get the physical book for $10, and you can get the digital download for $5. Guys, 100 pages. That's a really good deal. And yeah, it's with Kablam. It's with their Indie Planet, guys. I have like mixed feelings with Indie Planet, but I made a sale on a book that I put out on there 3 years ago. I don't market it because I'm very embarrassed about that book. And I got a sale like literally last week for the digital edition. I made $4. So crazy. So guys, so now I'm kind of thinking, man, maybe I like Indie Planet again. So Indie Planet, guys. Melchizedek, King of Justice Origins. If you're like, I can't spell that, get this. I put the link in the description so that you don't have to do any crazy spelling work. You just got to click that link and bam, you're freaking there. So that's awesome. Really quick, we got Britton here says, hey, and then we got Pencil for Life. You should be embarrassed. Bruh. I made a sale. on a 4-year-old book that I don't even touch. I am not embarrassed. I feel bad for the person who paid that $4 though. They're going to be disappointed. But I hope they follow my career and they see that I've improved. Yeah, I only sold like 2 copies, and then I've got my own copy in there just for like, shits and giggles. So yeah. All right. So guys, yeah, I'll put this in the guys in the description below. Do it. Check out Melchizedek. So guys, Sorry, I'm just super energetic because I have a lot of things to talk about for this topic. Today, we're talking about incorporating faith into comics. For those of you who watch the stream, I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka Mormons, although we try not to go by that anymore. But yeah, I'm part of the Mormon Church. I'm very religious, and you know, people have said about my comics that, you know, oh, are there religious aspects? And I'm like, oh, obvious. Oh, yeah, you know, it's a really big part of my life. With my sci-fi graphic novel Entity, which might come out at the end of next year, it got a very religious undertone without any religion. But we'll get to that. But even demons, it's very religious. I mean, there's church. I use Bible references. It's about heaven and hell. It's super religious. And then, you know, we got Andrew's book here, Melchizedek. He's ordained by God to become a superhero. And you know, that's pretty religious as well. So, Andrew, tell us, you know, why was putting in religion in your comics so important to you?
Well, being a Christian myself, I've always saw that Christian superheroes never get any good representation in any media, whether it's movies or books or comics or TV shows. Especially Christian superheroes, which there are very, very few of them. Everyone can probably think of Bible Man, and he's probably
that's who I was going to ask you.
He's probably he's the stereotype.
Was he a comic book?
No, he was never a comic book. He was always at first he was a live action, kids show.
I remember as a kid seeing that infomercial for Bible Man and the Fibbler. And if you call right now, you can get the DVD set. And I remember going to my mom, look, it's Bible Man. My mom was like, that's garbage. You're not gonna watch that. And so I was actually gonna ask you, you know, does Bible Man count?
He counts, even though he never had a comic series. Though I think it'll be interesting, you know, if they actually did make a comic series out of it. Though I think it'll probably get a Chick track kind of treatment. Because that's pretty much what the series is like. It's just a giant Chick track on TV. And I think right now, they rebooted. They rebooted Bible Man, but in animation, in CG animation, which I've always thought CG animation was probably going to work better for.
I'll have to check this out, Bible Man. I haven't thought about Bible Man until this conversation. Really quick, I want to get in the chat. We have Family Mania. That's Iris. Iris, how you doing? Iris is my wife's niece, but not really a niece. We're related now. Iris, love you. And she says, I can't wait to get your comic, Tyler. I can't wait for you to check out the comic, Iris. Although, please get your mom's permission first. We got Chuck Pino in the house saying, what's up, buddy? Chuck, what's up, dude? We got Pencil for Life saying, have a good show. I'm headed to Drawn and Quartered Pro Edition tonight. Dude, good luck, Brad. Okay, and you guys are cousins. Okay, so Ren and Iris are cousins. And then we have Britton here saying Bible Man's cheesy but enjoyable. I think what made it so cheesy was that, you know, and we got Alan Ellsworth saying, hey guys, Alan, bro, how you doing? And then we got my boy Justin. Justin, what up, bro? I'll actually message you my idea later tonight. Get your thoughts on it. And we got Alan Ellsworth saying, I got your book on Monday. Alan, let me know in the chat. Did you like the book, or have you read it yet? Or how's the quality of it, the printing? Bible Man is meant for kids, though. I mean, it's about teaching kids lessons. I mean, the Fibbler, he makes kids lie, and then Bible Man's gotta pray. And I love the lightsaber. I loved his lightsaber.
Yeah, but I think but then in the reboot they had to change that, you know, because they probably don't want to be sued. You know, because they don't want to be sued by Disney. You know, since Disney now owns Star Wars.
And they'll kill you.
So they changed his so they changed his weapon, and like he's even got like a glowing like Captain America like shield.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just Google search like the animated adventures of Bible Man, and basically, but yeah, like Bible Man has always been like the stereotype for like really bad Christian superheroes, and I kind of have like my own like critiques of like Christian superheroes and in comics, which is also one of the reasons why I wanted to get into this. I'm into this niche because I wanted to bring something to the table where it's faith based, but it's a lot more subtle. Like there's more of a narrative rather than feeling like some sort of like propaganda piece.
Like in this chapter, we're going to teach you why you need to be saved. In this chapter, we're going to teach you. Yeah, it's more. There is your book has, and I've read your webtoons. Yours is more. Yeah, yours is more of a story. It's a journey. It just so happens to be a Christian superhero story.
Yeah, well, like it's like a world where it's not our world. Like it's not our world. But God exists in that world, and he has ways of interacting in that world.
Okay, I like that. One thing that I miss about, and it's not really missed because it's kind of still there, but in the before New 52, before DC Rebirth and New 52, just the normal DC comics, God actually played a huge role in DC Comics. I mean, Batman, I remember reading the Justice League once, and Batman is like they're talking with the Spectre, and Batman, and Batman's like, like you just made a deal with God so you didn't have to go to hell, and there's angels and there's heaven, and like they all hang out, like. Whereas in the new comics, I mean, Batman stated that he was an atheist, and for me, that was, I mean, I didn't really. For me, it was kind of like, like there, like I know that Batman has dealt with, God in previous comics. Why would you take that out?
Like way back in the very beginning of his creation, like after Bruce's parents get killed, he's on the edge of his bed, like praying to God, and and sort of like making a promise to God that he's going to do everything he can to to stop crime. But I always thought that whole thing with Batman suddenly becoming an atheist, I thought that was like it's not gonna last long. Like it's just it's just a gimmick. That they just that they want to try to do. Plus, it doesn't even make sense for Batman to become an atheist because in the DC universe, the Greek gods exist. So it really doesn't make any sense.
And even in like the Justice League Dark comic books currently. I saw there was the angel Zariel, the angel, like he is literally one of God's, like God sends Zariel to Earth to like make sure everything's all right, and Batman's dealt with him. How do you not I agree.
And they've always like used Batman as sort of like the skeptic of it. Especially if you watch the animated Justice League Dark movie. Like Batman was always there to be the skeptic, like, oh, there's no such thing as magic, it's it's all just smoke and mirrors, and then they go on this adventure, and then like he starts to recognize that magic is real, even though he's been around Superman and Wonder Woman and the Flash, and somehow like magic doesn't count.
No, I agree. I got some questions for you in the comments for both of us, actually. But we got Justin Ori saying, I'm not religious, but I'm okay with stories having religious tones to him, especially when they're used in ways to help the rest of the story. I've always loved the mythology of most religions. We got Bryn saying, Tyler, why is your wife wrapping a Ninja Turtle like a baby? Oh, so that's from my Instagram story. My wife this like weekend is doing some photography of newborn babies, and so she was practicing wrapping it in a blanket so that she could take the photos for the family. We don't have a baby, so she used her Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuffed animal. So we got Chuck Pino. This is actually this is the question that I wanted someone to ask, and I was going to get to it if no one asked, but I'm glad that Chuck of all people put it in there, because I know Chuck is a deep thinker, so go Chuck. But he says, when you utilize faith in comics, and ultimately this is, I think, what I want, this is the heart and soul, I think, of this show. When you utilize faith in comics, do you worry about alienating those of other faiths, or are you mostly just aiming at the particular faith? I'll let you go for that first.
Okay, so when you're putting faith-based themes and stories, you know, there is going to be aspects where you're probably going to alienate certain groups, you know, and I don't think, you know, I don't think there's any other way around that. You know, it's probably the same way, you know, if someone writes a story that is more that uses more progressive themes, or someone who writes a story that, you know, that's more conservative themed. You know, you're always going to have certain groups alienated. You know, you're not going to have everyone be happy about it. But what I want to do with this kind of story is pretty much give it the same treatment that J.R.R. Tolkien did with Lord of the Rings, and C.S. Lewis did to Chronicles of Narnia, where the message is there, but it's a lot more subtle. You know, it's not it's not in your face about it. You know, where you kind of have to think deeper into it when you realize what it's trying to say. You know, where it's not like, oh, you're a bad guy, you need some Jesus.
Yeah. So in your comic, though, is there, like, do you have a moment where you draw God, or that God's like, I give you superpowers?
It's in the comic, and I'm not a fan of giving God or Jesus a face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because none of us really know what God or Jesus looked like. So I always there's a page where it shows
His hand.
pretty much the hand of God, and that's all you see of him. And because I was just never a fan of giving God or Jesus a face.
No, I'm with you. You know, and there's one aspect of my comic. It's in the last 10 pages of volume 3, which won't even come out till next year. But you know, you'll just see, you know, God's hand. Because yeah, I agree. I don't want to show his face. But do you find okay? So your goal is to make something like Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, where it's still very mainstream, but it's very on the surface, it's just a fun comic. But if you were to really deep down think about it, you could see the religious undertones. Like Chronicles of Narnia, for on the surface level, is just a really cool fantasy comic, a fantasy novel. You know, and you can watch the movies, but then if you see the undertones, you know, Aslan is like God or Jesus Christ, and he's resurrected and he overcomes evil, and he's that kind of figure. So yeah, I that's a good way to do it. My the thing with my comic, though, is it's very Christian oriented, because I use one of one of the characters is a preacher. He uses Bible verses. You know, I literally have Satan in my comic. I have very religious things in my comic, but they're not there to preach to you. There's never, like you said, this come to Jesus and be saved, or else. It's more just I'm just showing it's just a typical good versus evil story. And the oldest story of all time is the battle of heaven and hell. Heaven versus hell. That's the original good versus evil story. Is that one, and that's just what I'm incorporating. We got Tank Ferret here saying, "Hail Tyler, hail the chat." What up, bro? How you doing, Tank? We have Justin Ori saying Preacher was great, but that's probably pretty petty. I think they're saying petty or blasphemy. Preacher was definitely interesting. Britton says, I was turned off by Preacher at first because I thought it was just going to be an anti-religious hit piece, but it's not, and it's good. And then we got Itchy5, hashtag Team Jesus. I don't know who Itchy5 is, but hi, dude. Never seen you on the chat. Welcome to Draw and Talk. We're really glad you're here. And if you haven't yet, guys, please hit that like button and subscribe. It means a lot. We got John Diller Gaming the System saying, Hail Tank. What up, John? And then we got Niobe Comics saying, Hail Caesar. There is a lot of hails here tonight, guys. So were you scared at first of, making your comic, like, have this kind of religious undertones? I mean, your main character has called Melchizedek, King of Justice. I mean, that's already a religious terminology for Christians. Mm-hmm. Did that scare you? Have people been like, whoa?
I'm like a little bit, which is why I have friends and my editor to kind of help me out with with the flow of the story. I just know that if I just keep it, that if I just don't make it preachy, I think people are going to like it, and thus it's gonna feel more genuine as a story rather than just another chick track.
Just this very simple.
Yeah.
La-di-da. Chuck Pino asks, I don't know if this is for just you or me or both of us, but we'll just do both of us. Mm-hmm. Do you have plans to introduce other religions, or is this mostly just about Christianity for yours?
That's a tough question because Christianity is pretty much for most of all that I know, it's going to be the kind of story where it's going to be focused on certain characters. It's not going to be how a typical shonen, how a typical shonen manga does it, where are you aware of the Saint Seiya? The manga or anime series called Saint Seiya?
I have no idea any of that.
Okay, well, they're these armored warriors, and their armor is based on the constellations.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of characters to get into. But I would like my story to be focused on a confined amount of characters. I don't want it to be like One Piece or Bleach, where there are so many characters to get through that I'll eventually start to forget the main.
So you're
main characters.
So you're gonna keep it to your one character who is mostly Christian, because you don't want to introduce a Muslim character or a Jewish character. It's just a little too much. You think?
Well, it depends. Especially if I want to introduce a Muslim character, where that's going to be considered extremely controversial. Especially if I don't write this character the right way.
Yeah, man. If you make that Muslim character the bad guy, that's already propaganda. That's already saying that hey, my religion is over yours. So yeah, you have to be really sensitive.
Though in chapter 4 of the book, there's a backstory where one of the characters was actually part of a multi-religious superhero team, and I don't want to get into too much detail on it. You don't see much of them, but you could tell that's a Christian superhero, that's a Jewish superhero, that's a Muslim superhero.
So you allude to that there is other superheroes with other religions in there, but you just try to focus on your one. That's actually really smart. I like that.
And because my world is it's a completely different world, I probably don't have to use the word Muslim or Jewish or Christian, I can like just pretty much like just change the name of it. I can like just keep like the core beliefs there.
I want the reader figure out for themselves.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then, for me, my comic Demons, it's just one religion. I don't have plans. I mean, there's no Jewish characters. There's no Muslim. I mean, my character starts off in the first issue being pretty atheist. And then as it goes on, it shows his development. That's actually really what the whole story is about. Not his development into like believing in God. It's more about like his family relationships and whatnot. People just go check it out when it's time.
Yeah, and even if I were to like introduce like a character, with like a different religion, like they probably won't get as much. Screen time or character development as the main focus characters of the story.
So here's a question. Do you, with your religion, do you ever fear that you might be blaspheming on some of the stuff that you create or like incorporate based on the Christian aspects of Christianity?
No, I don't think so, because I do try to be careful in not trying to not trying to make Mel too much like a Messiah character. So I don't think I have to worry about that. As long as I write, the main character as like a flawed human being, I don't have to worry about being considered blasphemous or making the main character far more important than the God who assigned him this job.
No, okay, gotcha. See, I've always John Dillard gave me the system saying my comic is super preachy and hardcore propaganda. I don't care. I really think that I with that, John, one, how come you've never been on the show, dude? We need to get you on. I think it's either you go subtle or you go all out. I think you go you can't be in the middle, because then after that you're just unsure. I've always though been scared with my comic because I use aspects of my religion and I twist them so that they fit for my world, my own world's form of a Christian religion. Like, I don't believe any of the things that I made that I twisted, I don't believe in them, but I was like, well, it'd be kind of interesting if it was like this, and I'll put it in my comic. But I've always been curious if it's like a form of blasphemy to my religion, and I pray that it's not. I really hope it's not, but I mean, I try to, you just try to be as respectful as possible. So how is this going to be is your book going to be an ongoing is yours going to be an ongoing book, ongoing series? You're like, this is my passion project, I'm going to keep making this until I freaking die. Or do you have an end goal in mind?
It's kind of like both an ongoing series and there will be a certain end goal. But it's also going to be sort of it's going to be the kind of legacy, the kind of ongoing series where it's also like a legacy series where, kind of like in the same vein as Avatar: The Last Airbender, whereas the next, after the first protagonist time is done, a new protagonist will take over.
Once you're done with Avatar, you then go to Korra, Legend of Korra, and then okay, gotcha, I gotcha. That's it. I've actually thought about doing that with my Demons book, where I've done with that main character, but I want to stay in that world, because you enjoy that world that you've built, and you want to play with it. And even though your main character story is done, Why
and
not?
you don't want to fall for the same trap as like Marvel or DC, where you're just gonna reboot the whole series and the characters are just gonna stay the same. Whereas like where it's a legacy character, like that character could be seen as sort of like a soft reboot of your series, but it's still ongoing from from the previous story.
Yeah, one thing that I really liked up until it stopped happening was when they killed off Batman in Final Crisis in DC, and then Dick Grayson took up the mantle as Batman, and it was it was still Batman, but it was it was the personality of Dick Grayson, and it was still refreshing. It was a refreshing take on Batman. And if they had just kept doing with Dick Grayson, and then all of a sudden he dies and he gives the mantle to someone else, that would have been cool. But then it's back to Bruce Wayne, and it's like, okay, I know Bruce Wayne. Like you already know. Yes, he's a badass. He's perfect. He's not gonna.
Oh no, we have to go back to the status quo.
Yeah, but with Dick Grayson, he's like, okay, I'm Batman. I freaking have to learn this crap now. And then you can see him grow.
Especially after it's already developed that like he really doesn't want to be Batman, but after Bruce Wayne dies, he kind of feels
like he needs to.
Yeah, he kind of feels compelled to do it.
Yeah, and I liked that because you could tell he's like, I don't want to do this, but I know. Yeah, and that was something that could have kept going on for years. I got Chuck Pino here saying, Chuck, you're just asking all the best questions. Thank you so much, Chuck. Do you have plans to utilize Christian bookstores and such as part of your distribution for your book? Have you thought about that?
I have thought of that. But I've also thought of like would a Christian bookstore take a comic like this? Because like I've been to like Christian bookstores, and when you go to the comic section, all there is it's just King Stone's Bible comics, and that's all there is. There's no like original comic stories, and like I don't know if it's just because like no one else has tried to sell their books at at the Christian bookstores, or that those bookstores are not willing to take those original stories because they fear of like backlash from their customers.
Well, we got Chuck Pino saying you won't know if you don't try, and I'm kind of with Chuck right now.
Yeah.
I just imagine if you were to go to this bookstore and be like, hey, I've got 5 comics of Melchizedek, of my book Melchizedek. Can you just see if you can sell these, and then I'll come back in like a month. And if they do sell, you're like, hey, do you want more? Yeah. And then if you could tap into the Christian, comic book market, I mean, because you're right, most Christian comics is just like retellings of like the Bible in comic book form. But if there was something like that, I think you should try that. Maybe also, look up some like Christian news outlets, try to get your book reviewed. But like, really, I think a marketing tool would be to really hammer in the fact that this is a Christian comic book, and try to get in with that niche, and then if it goes well, dude, just swim in some monies.
Go
for it.
Because like for a while I've been debating when I try to advertise this book, like, should I advertise it as a Christian superhero story, or just call it a superhero fantasy and let the readers find out for themselves, like the Christian aspects? Because I've seen, where people, like the minute they see the word or hear the word Christian in the genre of like they're immediately turned off by it.
Yeah, but there are some Bible huggers out there. I mean, I live in Utah. Man, I wonder if I was to do a like Mormon based comic book and just be like, guys, this is for you. I made this for you. Like We got Chuck Pino saying, I'm with you, Tyler. If you're going to go niche, go full niche. You know, that just be like, I think that's just what you do, honestly, is just, you know, to make the money, just be like, yeah, this is a Christian book. Like, this is my niche, and own it.
Yeah.
Just own it. Cross Comics in the house. What up, Rick? How you doing, man? I didn't know your name was Rick until now.
Oh, I actually know that person. On like we network on Facebook.
Hey, Cross Comics, Rick, get Andrew on the show. Cross Comics does like Cross. You do like 4 live streams a day. You did like 4 or 5 today. It's crazy. Got Justin Ori saying, telling religious stories. Do you feel you can't tell certain stories relating to content? So do you feel restricted in the stories you can tell because your book is, you know, quote unquote, a Christian book?
No, not really. I think it's that like it depends. Like if you're gonna write a story that is strictly based on our world, then yes, you are gonna be really restricted. You know, because there's gonna be a whole bunch of, there's gonna be, you're gonna have to like really regulate yourself. You know, cause you know, especially when you're dealing with things in the real world, you know. But if you make it a fantasy, like you can pretty much just do whatever you want. Maybe not literally whatever you want, but you have like a lot more freedom, story wise. You know, when it's like completely your world. You know, J.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis are like a perfect example of that. Whereas like with Tolkien, he was more of a medievalist, and in his own in his story, like he used that a medieval looking fantasy world to sort of criticize like the advancement of technology through that world, you know, by discussing like how the goblins in that story have made these technological advances, but they haven't really advanced as a society. You know, so I don't think you could have. So I don't think you could have done that by basing the story off in the real world, because then it does become sort of a preachy sermon. You know, talk about like, this is bad, this is good.
No, exactly. I think when you're gonna, if you want to successfully incorporate religion into your book, you need to do it as nuanced and, you know, simple as possible. You know, just gloss over it. Try to get your lesson out there, but you need to be really creative. Otherwise, like you said, you're just preachy, and people don't like that, and it puts people off. Britton says, I think putting Christian would put people off. You know, it might, but here's the thing, guys. And I hope you all listen closely right now. I do social media marketing. That's my job. It's to create content for a business, put it out there, get them likes, help them make money. This is how you guys succeed in social media, okay? Let me get my microphone so y'all can hear. This is how you can make money on social media and the internet. And it's niche, okay? It's targeted audiences. If you can target your specific audience, you can find people that will want your body of work, and they will buy it. If any of you guys have ever done a Facebook ad, when I did one for Demons, I never hit the submit button because it was like a week too late. But what you can do is you can target like the age of the person, what they watch on TV, where they go to stores, what they eat for breakfast. It's ridiculous. So be your niche. Andrew, my comic book, it's for Christians. If you say for everyone, you're gonna miss 99% of people. But if you go, this is for Christians. This is for people who go to church on Sunday. This is for people who love Christian music. Boom. You've now targeted your book towards those people who will buy it. That's how you're gonna kill it in 2019, guys. I'll probably do a video on that on social media. A video about social media in 2019, because that's my job, guys, is to look at these trends and how to make money. with social media. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it, but I understand what needs to be done. We have Niobe Comics saying, when I think I know my audience, I find out different. I thought my audience would be mostly men for sexy covers, but more women have bought Niobe than men. Hey, it's not a bad thing though. Cross Comics says that he'd love to have you on his show sometime. And then I'm having Grok Comics creator this Saturday promoting his Kickstarter. Would love to have you on, Andrew, for that show. So you guys can message each other on Facebook about that. And then Niobe says, I want on that video. Niobe, Larry, I'll get you on that video. And then we got Tyler's a God, Emperor Hail. Guys, don't bow down to me. Go pray to the one and only true God. No, no. I'll just be like this, like, no, like, don't do it. Don't do it. So yeah, guys, we got Chuck Pino saying, you're so right about niches. I like to explain it using music. We don't just have rap or metal anymore. There's thrash metal, speed metal, groove metal, black metal, death metal, and so many more. It's so true. It's so true. Everything is so specific now. It's kind of annoying. It's like, I like rock music. Well, do you like alternative rock? Do you like new rock? Do you like jazz rock, punk rock? And it's just like, okay, I just like music at this point. But if you really want to find those people, you need to be a niche. So Andrew, man, dude, kill it with those. Dude, I hope you go full on Christian and kill it in the comic book stores and make some effing money. Uh-oh, you're muted. You're still muted. Uh-oh. We got Brayden here saying, I'm a bit of a hip-hop aficionado, so I can speak there. Are you, Brayden? Brayden, I love talking with you. Boom, you're back
there
on.
There we go.
You're back.
Like it was like a button on my headset that I probably pressed.
You're good. You are good. Well, hey everyone, we got 16 people watching right now. That's freaking awesome, guys. In the link down in the description, and you know what? I'll just put it in the chat. Go check out. Even if you just for the love of drawing, talking the stream, go check out Indie Planet. It's Andrew's book, Melchizedek, King of Justice Origins. Go check that out because, we're here to support indie creators. If it's a book that you might be interested in, go buy it. There's a digital version for $5. You can get a print edition for $10. Go check it out. We got Carl's Amateur Hour saying, I have no idea what my niche is. Maybe I'll do a video about that, how to find your niche. I do that with I actually had a meeting yesterday with my bosses, just me and them. We're just talking about niches and what they need to do to improve their business. Maybe we'll do a video about how to find a niche. Carl, I've seen your artwork, by the way. It's very cartoony. So maybe you could you could target people who watch Saturday morning cartoons. You can target people who bought Cuphead. You can literally target that. You can target people who bought that game Cuphead, which is the most infuriating game ever. So yeah.
But it's a very beautiful looking game.
Holy crap, is it amazing. It is a amazing book, amazing game. We got Cross Comics saying it's great book. I got it on digital. So Cross Comics bought your book. That's awesome.
Oh, yay.
That's freaking awesome. So hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I do have to end the show right now because I've got some people gonna check out this apartment to buy it. And then my wife and I, in January, we're moving to a new apartment so that the second bedroom will be dedicated to the Draw and Talk Studios, where we can do more crap. So it'll be awesome. And then, okay, we got one last question, and then we have to end this. It's from Itchy5. Andrew, what are your thoughts on Indie Planet? What's so beneficial to using that platform?
Well, well, it's sort of bad and good because when I try to actually get them on, their site through Kablam, you kind of have to push them to put it on there, because if you don't, it'll probably take them weeks or months, to get them on. I don't know if it's because they get so many submissions or if they're just understaffed. I don't know what it is. But but like based on like the little times that I've had, like it's fine. Like you get notified of when someone actually buys your book. Unlike with Comixology, like you don't really know.
Until that quarterly report.
Yeah, until that quarterly report, or at least until you reach like the $100 threshold, where you get the money instantly. But with Indie Planet, you get notified when when someone buys your book. So I'm not a complete expert on it. I guess like I just started using it. But
I think one pro is that the one pro is that you have a store. They make a store for you. It's a pain in the butt. I agree to like freaking like get them to like, hey guys, did you put my book on? Did you put my book on? It's
I had to tell them that I was going to go on a live stream with you because I need something to put on, just to have something else, and they were able to get that done right away.
Yeah, so like, yeah, it's like one of those things where like they can do it. They just like, are they taking the time to do it? One thing I don't like about the site though of Indie Planet is that Britton says hashtag freaking literally. Did I say freaking literally again? Is that I find searching for books on Indie Planet a pain in the butt on that search thing. So you really need the link. Having the link is the fastest way to find one of your friends' comics on there. And another pro, that's one of the cons. The pros though is that your book is on a store though. If you guys, those of you who hopped on, if you didn't hear me at the beginning of the stream, is I only have one book on Indie Planet. It's a graphic novel called Singularity. I'd made it 3 years ago. I was still learning how to draw, color, letter, make comics, blah blah blah. And it's 100-page graphic novel. I two people bought it. My friend Aaron, my friend Georgia, and then I have a copy for myself. And then literally last week, freaking literally, I wake up to an email from Indie Planet, and I was like, what the frick, like, do these people want? Because I haven't printed with them in a while. And it's like, someone purchased your book. And I was like, oh, I just made $5. And it's crazy that having your book out there on a store, you don't know who you could reach. You don't know what indie creators are going on or like fans going on Indie Planet, and they're looking for books, and then bam, they find yours, and they're like, okay, boom. So that's a pro for Indie Planet, in my opinion. We got Christopher C in the house. What up, Chris? And then we got Kawhi Ali. How you doing, man? Says, I'm learning how to make a comic. Well, dude, you have jumped into the right channel. All we do is talk about making comics and indie comics. And we got hey, guess what, Andrew? I've only done this once before my stream, but we hit 20 viewers.
Ooh.
So that is freaking awesome. So everyone says just waiting for John Malin. So you guys are just waiting. You guys are just here waiting for someone else's channel. I get it. No, guys, I'm super grateful for everyone who is watching right now. Hit that like button. Let me know what you think of this episode. Go check out Andrew's book. Guys, thank you so much for the support on Draw and Talk. We're still going to land you with some cool episodes tomorrow. We're not doing the creator hangout. I'm getting home late from work, so we won't be able to do that. Friday we'll have a show. We're gonna by the end of the year we will hit 100 episodes of Draw and Talk, and then next year season 3 of Draw and Talk, because each season of Draw and Talk is 50 episodes. Season 3, we're still doing this, but I'm going to change the format a little for these interviews. It's going to be interesting. It's going to make some people feel uncomfortable during it, and that's what I want, and it's going to be more entertaining. So thanks so much. Guys, go on. Also, you guys can go to Larry's channel. He's going live on Facebook right now, and Larry's freaking awesome. So guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Go check out Andrew's book, link in the description. Subscribe to Draw and Talk, guys. We have videos every week. We're trying to make comics. We're trying to make indie comics. We're here to support indie creators. And, this is just turning into an awesome community. The fact that we have 20 people watching, it just really makes me my heart warm. It's freaking awesome. Really appreciate it for all you guys. And then, check out some other videos if you like. So sweet. Oh, and Larry's going on tomorrow. Gotcha. And the topic is your year in comics 2018. That's actually going to be my 100th episode, my year in review 2018. So Andrew, thanks so much. Andrew, where can people find you on Twitter or Instagram?
I don't really use a lot of social media. But if you want to find my XP Comics Facebook, you can just go on facebook.com/XP Comics. There's also a Melchizedek King of Justice fan community, which is facebook.com/King of Justice Comic. So
Awesome.
that's where you can go. I don't even use Twitter that much. I hardly ever use Instagram.
Well, guys, go follow Andrew. Thank you so much for watching. Freaking frick.
Thank you for walking.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, and peace out. It's gonna be a late stream, so it's only gonna be for a little bit. Peace out, guys.